So today I'm going to paint a pepper, and hopefully I'm going to try to avoid using any curvy lines. So obviously peppers are curved, and I'm trying to fight the logic in my brain that's telling me, well, peppers are curved and I've got to therefore use curvy lines to create the illusion anyway that I'm trying to paint a pepper. So let's start off. So I've got a few colors on my brush, mainly red and a little bit of purple, and we'll just kind of block these various bits of color in like so. Just going to add a little bit of orange to my color. And again, what I'm trying to do is avoid really the outcome of curving things, and I'm absolutely trying to fight against logic that's dictating a lot of what I do, especially when you paint. So just block these shapes in. So the reason why this is important is when you paint, you're trying to not be too contrived with the way you paint. And the reason why that's important is when we look at something, we tend to look at it as what it is. So I'm thinking, yes, I'm painting a pepper, and hopefully at the end it will look like a realistic depiction of a pepper. But before I get to that point, I actually want to look at the essence of what I'm doing. I'm trying to be creative, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm showcasing that I'm a human being trying to paint something. And as I think about what I'm doing, I can then just enjoy the process of painting and not be overly dictated to by, to some extent, the subject matter. So just using some green for the stalk. So the helpful thing about this project is from afar, it kind of looks circular because my brain's filling in the blanks, but up close, I can definitely see these hard edges. And again, if I put the stalk in just over there, all of a sudden, I've got something resembling a pepper. It might not be super realistic, but it's a start anyway for me to then refine it that little bit more. So what we'll do, we'll go in with a bit more red and orange, and again we'll just fill up some of these gaps, and again very conscientious to avoid, especially around the edges, just curving it. And like I say, it's very difficult, especially for beginners, to avoid that outcome of either adding that curvature or even blending it to excessively, to some extent, sledgehammer the point of what the shape is. So that's what I've got so far. We'll put some highlights on, and hopefully that will look a little bit more realistic. So I'll just add some red in with a little bit of yellow. And there's just some light just catching the edge there. Now, what I'm planning to do is at the very end, add some, I say some, one or two curves to really accentuate the point, but I don't want to accentuate it everywhere. So I might put a little bit more of the circular shapes, maybe around this area, because it's slightly more important than maybe the back end of it. So just using some light green, just going to lighten that shape. So that's a very good representation so far of something that vaguely looks like a pepper. Now what I can do is at the end I'll use some dark, and I'll use the dark really to emphasize how rounded the shape is. So if I start to add that curve in there and then round there, all of a sudden that just enhances that edge, and I'll do the same with the stalk like so. Just drag that color up. However, with the back end, I will simply leave it as a relatively blocky shape. So I'm just using some very dark violet with a bit of dark Prussian blue. And again, really want to emphasize the point of how contrasting a little bit of curvature is with this very blocky mark that I'm now applying. Just a little bit of shadow there, a couple of marks. So fairly simple, fairly basic, but in the long run, it's going to create some really interesting paintings from the point of view that someone's painted it rather than trying to make it look like an exact copy. Anyway, hope that was helpful. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.